friends, welcome to this video. My name is Ashok Kumar. Today I'm going to train you about cue card, how you can deliver your speech on cue card. It is IELTS speaking cue card part, and our topic is talk about a story or tale you heard in your childhood. In this training session, we are going to talk about a story you heard when you were a child or in your childhood. So my dear friends, when you have such topic, you must have an effective answer, a good speech to deliver, so you can impress the examiner and raise the chances of getting good band score. So my dear friends, talk about a story you heard in your childhood. When you get such topic, you need to prepare in advance, and if you do not prepare in advance, simply you have to recall a story when your grandmother, grandfather or anybody told you when you were a kid. I would tell that when I was a kid, my maternal grandmother and my maternal aunt would tell me a lot of stories. We had a group of 5 to 6 kids, and in evening we would approach to the narrators, and they would tell us wonderful stories, and these stories were meaningful, and they had always a moral, a message to convey. So you have to include all such kind of information, so you can prepare an effective speech that would get you good bands. So today, how would you determine tale you heard, what the story was? First of all, you can give an introduction of the topic in 2 to 3 lines. How? When I was kid, I would love to hear stories from my maternal grandmother and my maternal aunt. We were 6 to 7 kids, and in evening time we would approach our grandparents to hear the stories, because stories were so inspirational that we could vividly imagine the character. Today I'm going to talk about a story that was so meaningful and I still remember. When I remember this story, I feel nostalgic. The time when we would sit together and hear the stories. After hearing the stories from our grandparents, we would discuss the characters and the moral of the stories. So today I'm going to talk about a story that was told by my maternal grandmother. It is a story of a loyal dog. Yes, loyal dog. A loyal dog. Okay, I must say that dogs are very loyal. They always guard the house of their owner. They are ready to lay their life to protect the people who have kept them in their houses. So this way you can start delivering your speech. When you heard the story, it was our common time in the evening after finishing our dinner, that we would go to our grandparents. They would also wait for us. After reaching them, we would greet them good evening and urge them, request them to tell us stories, and we would sit around them and they would tell us story. I still remember it was our summer vacation. In the evening, we reached our grandparents and urged them to tell a story. Then my maternal grandmother told us that today she is going to tell us a wonderful story that may change our life. Then she started telling the story of a loyal dog kept by Lucky Banjara. Lucky Banjara was a leader of a group who would keep animals and wander here and there. He became broke and he had to sell his all animals, including the dog. The dog is sold to a person in 100 rupees, and the person who buys the dog takes the dog his house, where dogs plays his part so wonderfully, and one day he saves the life of the owner's son, and owner becomes so much emotional and happy for the dog, and he releases and he writes down a letter and hangs in the neck of the dog and says, go to your previous owner. When the dog goes to the owner and owner sees that, and he gets furiated, he thinks that dog has betrayed him, he hasn't paid the price of his money, and he beheads the dog. After beheading the dog, he reads that letter written, your dog has been wonderful, he has saved the life of my son, he has paid his price in full, now I'm sending this dog back to you, and keep your dog because he loves you too. After reading the letter, the Mr. Lucky Banjara becomes so much emotional. He starts weeping and he regrets why he did so. The message of the story is this, that loyalty is everything. We must be loyal to every person whosoever is in our touch. It's our moral duty to be loyal to the country, society, and wherever we are. Loyalty is supreme. If we are not loyal, then we will lose the credibility. So this way you can explain the story. I have told you in this training program we have covered the moral of the story and who told you the story when you heard. Everything we have covered. So my dear friends, when you prepare your cue card, what you have to do, you have to read the title of the cue card, then the following questions, these questions, and after try to read these questions very well, and if possible write down your answer and then practice. This way your answer is going to be superb. This was a little small training program. In my next class I would explain the full speaking interview that will enable you score 7+ band. So watch our channel and do not forget to subscribe, and do not forget to hit sub bell icon also. So my dear friends, hope that you have got enough information, ideas, vocabulary, and how you can prepare your answer. Thank you so much for watching. See you again. Jai Hind.